I made the finals at the New Mexico Open. Woo! So did Eric. We were actually the 6th and 7th qualifiers into the 32-man bracket. Oh, so much happened during match play. So much happened. So just bear with me.
Take me to Candyland. Ooh, take me to Candyland. Sweeter than sugar, you doing that dancey dance.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Sarah Klassen channel. Today, I'm actually on my lunch at work, and I'm going to show you what happened at the New Mexico Open. $10,000 tournament recently taken over by Mike Fagan, the new owner of 10 Pins and More, Rio Rancho, New Mexico. And if you've missed this vlog, I've actually already posted about my first round of qualifying, but we had a lovely subscriber there taking some videos throughout Saturday, well actually throughout the Pro-Am, Saturday's qualifying blocks, and Sunday's 32-man double elimination bracket. If you missed the last vlog, here's the pattern that we were bowling on. Really tricky 47-foot pattern, and the gutter was the move. Staying right was the move. And so kind of interesting, the Pro-Am was held after Friday's qualifying rounds, before Saturday's qualifying rounds. So I did find they played quite a bit differently, but here are some fun clips from the Pro-Am Friday night.
On lane number 17, he's with the bacon
A lot of fun bowling the Pro-Am. This was actually only my second Pro-Am. It was 9-pin no tap, and as we saw, Mike shot 300 back to back, and it was actually a team effort between him and I, because the format of the Pro-Am was a pro would stay on a pair with people for 5 frames, and then you would move a pair to the right. So he was bowling a pair to the left of me, so the whole time I would bowl the first 5 frames of the game, and then he'd throw the last 5, including the 10th frame. And so we together shot back-to-back 300s, which was really fun. And man, he still throws it awesome. Great guy, great bowler. Super cool to get to not only bowl this tournament, bowl with him in the Pro-Am, and just see him come out of retirement. That was awesome. So once again, thank you, Mike, for having Eric and I. It was fantastic. And moving on, we bowled, so yeah, that first day, I can't remember, I'm pretty sure that was the block I went 13 over. Super frustrating because I shot 188 the last game, but again, that's all in this video, the whole block. Let's get into Saturday. So I'm going to show you all the clips I have from Saturday now.
did all the dripping on the lanes.
First things first, the first block I bowled in the morning. Okay, I didn't go 13 over. First block, I either went -7 or -17. I don't remember. But my 3 qualifying blocks before my big one was -17, -7, +13. I was within, 30 pins of the same score, and the cut was projected to be about 20 over to be safe. And it actually, I'm pretty sure it ended up being 18 over. Saw in there, I shot 290 the one block, and that was the +13 block. And I ended with 188. And I was kind of playing around, like I feel like I could see the shape, I could see where I needed to be on the lane, but it was just getting my ball to start up early enough to get through the fronts and, still have some energy down lane to go through the pins in the right way. So big, slow, asymmetric pieces was the move for me. After the first block, I had thrown my Pure Envy on fresh the first block, and it was kind of shiny. We needed more surface. That Saturday, the beginning of the day, I started, tried the Pulse, and same thing, ball was a bit too shiny, but we ended up hitting my Outer Limit Solid with Scotch Brite and 1,000, so a lot of surface, a lot of grit there, and that was what ended up giving me the best look. That's what I shot 290 with, was the Radical Outer Limit Solid, and that's what I started blocks with from there on out. And my first game score increased with throwing the Outer Limit Solid from 180 my first 2 blocks to 234 and 237 the last 2. So that was the move. And another thing we did was, I had a ball in my bag, the Ebonite 1 Reverb, and that has kind of been iffy for me. It just has never quite done the right thing. And sometimes in these tricky tournaments, the best thing to do is to take a ball like that and just scuff it. Like when there's that much oil on the lanes and it's a piece that otherwise would be out of the equation, throw some surface on it and see what it does. Because, you can manipulate ball motion, ball shape, what a ball does, such an insane amount with surface. So same thing, I'm pretty sure we took the Scotch Brite to that 1 Reverb, and it ended up being something that I would set up my starting pair with. So get the dust off of it in practice and set up a spot around 5 closer to the gutter so that my Mrs. Right hooked a little bit. And other people had been doing that with their urethane balls naturally in practice. A lot of surface on them to start, throwing them up the right, and while I was dealing with that urethane carry down lane, I was trying to play the fronts a bit more and get my ball to do the right things through the fronts and just kind of be at the pocket down lane. It's not like I wasn't necessarily throwing it at the pocket, but I was definitely focused on getting it to the middle of the lane sooner so that I didn't have to worry about what it did down lane. And that comes into play for my match play. So let's get into the clips from Sunday.
count like I do. That's why it's... Nope. Oh.
Brian Skidmore, who's going to make it through the winner's bracket here in round number 5. 4-6. This is going to be cool because we're going to get to see what Sarah's made of here. I mean, Anthony Simonson, my goodness, that's who she's up against here, you know. This is a moment here for her.
100% it is.
Win or lose, it's going to be something she's going to look back on.
Man, he just hit up on it a little bit, and he got a little bit too forward in the front. What's your name, buddy? Simo got them all. 231. Anthony Simo.
You really don't expect anything less than that.
Nope.
Sarah's going to have to throw the double. So here's what I'm thinking on Chase Nadeau for a nickname here.
Yeah? I'm listening.
Because he's all business. When I think of all business, I think of loan officers. I'm calling him the loan officer.
I like it.
One just defaulted. But it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Chase Nadeau winner.
204. That's what he needs. Okay, Sarah here. First shot here. This is a big one. She needs a double to beat Simo.
Hey. Nope.
All right. It is. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's go through the dates. Okay, let me calm down. So I feel this in my bones. Also, yeah, have I mentioned I'm in my car eating my lunch, which is this leftover pizza that Eric brought me. Everybody say we love you, Eric, in the comments. He is the best pepper. So I hope you've all gotten your snack and your little drinky at this point to listen in on this. Because match play I feel like got intense. Let me just start off. I think I got quite lucky for the first couple rounds of match play. And I was kind of going back and forth on this. Again, 32-man double elimination bracket match play. And how it worked was the first round of losers bracket matches was going to be 2 games. And then everything after that was 1 game. So by the time I got to the losers bracket, it was 1 game elimination. Weird, but I guess that's just, that was the grandfathered in, inherited tournament format, okay? Okay, oh, so much happened during match play, so much happened, so just bear with me. First round of match play, I won my match with 390, maybe even, and my second match I won with 440. Those were low scores for the matches. The matches actually got pretty high scoring, and there was people that lost with 500. So part of me is I was in the right place at the right time. I got lucky. The other part of me is my match was low scoring, not just me, the match. So I was just playing the pair I was given, and maybe those pairs were trickier. I don't know. But then I ended up bowling Brian Skidmore, I believe his name is, and that was the match on 23 and 24. That's where we go back to just playing the pair I was given, because the pair was super tricky. There was a huge out of bounds on the left lane. It was really hard to get my ball to the pocket, and when I did, it 2-4-5, 2-pinned, blah, blah, blah. This is where my patience could have came into effect a bit better, because not only was I not patient, but that translates to so many things, right? Your body gets tenser, you're forcing shots, and for me, Jim Callahan pointed out a really important thing, which was my posture at the line. When I'm more upright, I make better shots. My hand can stay in a better spot at my release, and everything's looser, it's flowy, it's good. And I definitely got to a point where I was forcing shots. I think part of the reason I'm not as good of a player as I can be yet is my mental game. And I really noticed how weak mentally I can be during these matches, right? Because the 10th frame of that, well, I mean, okay, the 9th frame, my ball just didn't hook. I left that 2-pin that kind of wobbled, not great. And then same thing, the left lane, I believe I big forward, my ball caught some random hook spot randomly. Yeah, I wasn't fully committed to those. I knew what the scenario was, and I put too much pressure on that scenario, and it's so human, right? But great athletes show up, and I didn't. And that happened again in my match versus Simo. Shout out Simo. Here's what happened. Here's the tea. After I lost my match to Brian Skidmore, put me in the loser's bracket, they had me bowling Simo on that pair that I had just lost on. Weak mental game right here. I freaked out. I kind of said, I'm not cool with bowling on the pair that I just lost on, obviously. And also, I didn't think that was very fair. Like, there's multiple aspects to look at that. Like, I have more knowledge on the pair because I just bowled on it, but I also just struggled to shoot 190, 180, whatever I shot on that pair because it's so hard. Why am I bowling another match on the same pair I just lost on to determine my fate in the tournament on top of that, to stay in it? And I said that. I was kind of complaining. Simo overheard me. Simo went up to the tournament director and said it wasn't fair that I had to bowl on that pair again. My opponent went up and said that. And surely enough, they said, yeah, totally, good point. We get it. They moved us. They moved us to the pair to the left. So, wow, yeah, Simo, great guy, great advocate for the sport. I'm a fan. And it was an honor to bowl with him and bowl against him. Ultimately, to lose to him. You know, he's one of the best in the world, and I put pressure on him in the 10th. He knew he needed to strike out to put pressure on me, and it's bowling. I didn't. I made a terrible shot. Watching it back, it's hard to watch, and like, I can't even express how much it sucks watching those 10th frames, right? Like, back to back. It's part of the growth we go through from an athlete's perspective, but it's so hard to watch. It's heavy. Yeah, I don't know. I'm passionate. We always want to win. It's slightly embarrassing. We just have to own up to those moments. I was not good enough. I'm not yet good enough in those situations. But I know the more that I put myself in those situations, the easier it'll get. Woo! There you have it, folks. I think that's all I got on my wrap-up from the New Mexico Open. I just want to be a better bowler. Personally, I think I strive to be a more respectable competitor and a more respectful competitor. You know, bowling is so emotional, and there was definitely just really low points for me this weekend in terms of reactions, and it all goes hand in hand. I don't know. Everything played out as it should have, and big learning experience for me. Not only pressure in the 10th, but how you react to those situations. Those things, it's all ultimately how you'll be shaped as an athlete, and determines how great you'll be down the line. So I hope you guys took something from this. I don't know. I'm just happy to be here documenting my journey and taking accountability for the moments that I'm just not great, because the goal here is to be great. So what's next? For me personally, I will be bowling the PBA Non-Champs Regional in Houston, Texas this weekend at Emerald. My second non-champs of the season. My first one, I missed the cut and just didn't bowl great. That was at Copperfield. So, no expectations this weekend, not gonna lie. I am excited to make a video and film, and just go through the motions, play a lane, figure it out, and compete. I love to compete. That's why I do it every weekend, if you haven't noticed. For Eric, he'll be going to Helsingborg, Sweden for the Lucky Larson, a PBA title event. I believe he signed up for 3 squads, and I know if you search on YouTube, Lucky Larson Bowling, they have a channel where they will be live streaming. So plenty of squads going on next week. I think it's from August 24th through September 2nd, something around there. So make sure you check that out, and I'll see you guys in Houston. Maybe before that, if I practice on the pattern, I might film it. I don't know. I've been yapping for a long time. Thank you guys for being here. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And there will be a link to my Patreon in the bio as well. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.